Happy Thursday, Cyclone Fanatics. I'm Chris Williams back at Mr. B's at 1995 Northwest 86th Street in beautiful Clive, Iowa, hanging out with Tim Sitzman today as the snowstorm is coming, it sounds like. And
we've been hanging out a little bit for a while
yeah,
here, and every time we talk about it, it's the weather.
I know.
I don't know what's going on, Chris, but we got a lot of snow this year.
The snowstorm's coming. There was a storm last night down in Waco, Texas.
Yeah.
We wanted to avoid this topic, but I figure all of you watching this right now, they would think that we're just completely out of it if we just failed to mention Iowa State getting outscored 46-29 in men's basketball in the second half against Baylor last night.
Talk about falling asleep in the second half. Ooh. We went to sleep, and that's the result you get.
You know what, too? In the first half, I mean, I take notes during every game. I have like 2 pages of notes by the time I'm done with a ball game. In the first half, I wrote, this team really for the first time since playing those weak non-conference opponents at the beginning of the year, they looked like they knew what they wanted to do on offense. They looked like a real cohesive basketball team that we haven't really seen since the adversity started happening at certain points in the season. I was really, really happy. I mean, you had a guy, Scott Christopherson, looked fresh. I mean, everybody looked really good. And
first half looked encouraging. I think that's the sign of that team this year. There's encouragement in that structure. It just shuts down once in a while.
It's inconsistent.
Very inconsistent, and we have to be honest about it. I think we're going to see, 9 games left in the Big 12. We'll see some inconsistency through the rest of the year, in my opinion. But we might see some flash of some brilliance in maybe a game or two where we shouldn't win, we could catch them.
Well, and that's the deal with this team. It's like they'll put together 20 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes in a game, and it's not always in a row. It's generally not in a row.
Right.
Where they'll look really good. But when they're bad, like if it's 10 minutes one night, if it's 5 minutes one night, whatever, they're really bad. And they'll allow these teams to just go on these astronomical runs, and it's impossible to come back.
And that's exactly why they lose those games. I mean, they lose it in a 5 to 10 minute span that they go to sleep, and you can't do that in a basketball game.
No, and even last night in that first half where they were only down by 4, they allowed Baylor to go on a 13-2 run in the middle of that first half. You limit that and you have a lead at halftime.
That's right. And I know it drives Coach McDermott crazy, and I know that the heart's there. The program will be successful. Fans got to be patient. But it's an up and down year, and we can see that.
The guys are still working hard, and as passionate as the fans are, you got to keep everything else in mind every once in a while.
They're 19 to 22-year-old kids trying to do their best, and they got to come together as a cohesive group. So hang in there, Clone fans. They'll be there.
Women got a big win last night over Texas Tech, so we want to give props to Bill Finnoy. And
what a job he's doing, huh, Chris?
Man, they're smelling. I mean, if they keep doing what they're doing, Tim, they're going to be smelling maybe a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. A lot of basketball still to play, but that's possible.
They could be a Sweet 16 team. I really think that's possible. He's putting together a nice team again, and he's doing the right things down the stretch. I think they'll be fresh for the tournament, and we wish him well. Good job.
Looking ahead to football now, because I think that's on top of everybody's.
What an exciting time, huh?
That's what's on everybody's mind today. I did Cyclone Sound Off last night. That is generally a basketball show, and people are calling and wanting to talk football. And I don't blame them, because this recruiting class that Coach Rhodes and his staff put together yesterday was really pretty phenomenal when you consider it's really their first full class being here. Iowa State, I don't remember, and I'm not a diehard football recruiting guy. I mean, I used to cover it. I don't cover it full time anymore, but I don't remember a class this good since I started covering it. A lot of people say 2002. But I don't know. It's hard to tell at the beginning stages like this. Obviously, you got to wait 4 years. But I haven't been this excited about an initial class in a long time.
I was out of town over the weekend, and I just been riding the wave, as a lot of the Fanatic fans are doing, on the enthusiasm of Coach Rhodes, excuse me, not Rose, Rhodes. But what I'm trying to figure out is the feel of this recruiting class, Chris, and I see a lot of recruiting and athleticism, and we look heavy in the running back position, but I think he's recruiting athletes and putting them into where they need to be, and that's what makes a fine football team down the road. We lacked a little bit in all candor. We had a great season, but we lacked a little bit in athleticism in some positions. And I think we're going to fill that void in the next couple of years, and this is the start of it. You build blocks. You got to build a foundation, and the foundation looks pretty strong as we go ahead.
And I had one staff member tell me yesterday that the group of the 3 wide receivers who are coming in all could legitimately play next year. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how good that they are. And Iowa State has good receivers already.
Yeah.
They're going to be going like 8, 9 deep at the wide receiver core next year. There's a ton of depth, a ton of speed. That's always a good thing.
It's always, from a fan's point of view, me being a fan, it's always hard to understand how they fill all these positions and get quality and keep these kids happy. But you see what a 12-game season does. You get a lot of injury.
Mm-hmm.
You need backups who are capable of being
It's like,
starters.
It's like last year. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
Reynolds went down, Darks and Johnson were both injured the entire season. They could have used these guys.
They sure could have. And I think we see that in all programs. And I think to compete in the Big 12, we have to have backup position players that are ready to go, and they could be the starter. I mean, I really believe that.
Tim, got any sales going on or anything?
Sales going for the next 10 days, right up to Valentine's Day. We're 50%
right.
off on a lot of winter goods. Would invite you to come and see us. Encourage you to. We have a wonderful store. We're proud of it. And I think you'd enjoy shopping at Mr. B for both men and women. We carry some of the extended sizes for the tall guys, so come in and see us.
Come in and load up. Get your honey something good for Valentine's Day, male or female.
Yeah,
Tim will hook you up.
I can't wait till we talk about good weather down the road here, Chris.
Golfing weather.
Yeah, instead of snowballs. Good talking to all you guys, and remember, be a good fan out there.
All right, thanks a lot, Tim.
Thank you.
We appreciate it, and stay safe with the snow if it's going to come your way. For Tim Sitzman, I'm Chris Williams saying, so long, Fanatics.